job. Ellie's gonna roll him down the hill. Catty, you animal. Now what?
We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good luck speaker. Wave goodbye to Joe.
Hello everybody, Drew here, Drew Games, back, well, for the first time in I don't know how long with a gaming podcast, or as what we're now going to be calling it, a livecast here on the channel, to talk about the top game universes we have gotten lost in over the years, i.e. the games that we spent the most time logged in playing. And yes, because, as usual, joining me.
Okay, kid. Give it to me.
Hey, bro.
Hey there.
You always come in with the bricks.
Yeah, well, yeah.
As you guys see by the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about Minecraft, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Knights of the Old Republic, and many other great games. But here's the thing. These two lists put together by Nord and myself aren't necessarily our favorite games, per se. As I said at the top, these are the games that we've spent the most time playing. It means that some of these could probably be really shitty games.
Yeah, it depends.
Just for whatever reason.
It's personal taste, and everybody's going to... And again, there are also game series that are absolutely top-notch that we're going to exclude fully.
Yeah.
Like, not even include at all.
So some of these games might be meh at best. Some of these games might be epically great. Some of these games might be something that you loathe entirely, but for whatever reason, Nord or I, or vice versa, just spent a lot of time playing it.
It's a simple fact, bro, is that not every man is an enjoyer of everything. We all have tastes, we all have preferences. It is what it is.
As has been famously said, you can't please all of the people all of the time, only some of the people some of the time.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And with that said, we're going to show actually Nord's list on screen here as we go through these games and what have you, which I will try to share right now. So, as Nord put together a 50 games list, I only have 31, so we're mostly, for the most part, going to go over like from 50 to 32 from his list, because I only go to 31 because, fuck it, I didn't care. I didn't care as soon as I wrote down the 31st game. I'm like, fuck it, that's enough. So, at 50, we see Deadside from Desert Nord's list here.
Yeah.
Bro?
Yeah, it was a game that has come out a couple of years ago. Recently, it hit console about, I guess it'd be almost about a year ago now, or at least 6 months ago. The thing about Deadside is it's now kind of fallen a bit into defunctness because the player base has kind of moved away from it now, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a much better version of a game like DayZ, for instance, where you were creating a base and you were, looking for resources and trying to survive. And the main difference between the two, I guess, is that Deadside functioned a lot better, and it had AI bots, which were dangerous. Whereas with DayZ, all you really had to deal with was other players and zombies. And the zombies aren't all that hard to foil on DayZ, unless it's modded, then never mind that. But, modded games are a whole nother world entirely.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing you can say for certain about modded games. They can be any way. They could literally be any way they want to be. So,
Which I will certainly get into mods later on in my list.
but just to say, I
But,
mean, like it for people who like Tarkov, Tarkov is like the absolute top notch PC game for people who like first person shooter type games and like, you know, gather resources and try to stay alive type games. Tarkov is the best of the best. But for my experience, I have never played much Tarkov. I know a lot about it. I've done a bunch, but basically all of the games, including Deadside, are all kind of in the same vein as that type of game.
yeah.
And Deadside was for a while, especially when the servers were full up, was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's why it's on the list.
Yeah. So at 49, we see F-Zero GX from the GameCube.
Yep. That was a game that was really challenging. It was one of the fastest pace racing games you could get in its era. And of course, based on the Captain Falcon character and his whole storyline and world that that they put him in. And with hypersonic, like electrically driven vehicles, and it was a cool game for its era. Believe me, it was a fun to play and a memorable experience for sure. It wasn't the greatest racing game of all time, and it definitely falls clearly into the category of fantasy racing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, it was a memorable game for me, and so again, it's on the list, and it's more of a when I was younger game, so it's not a game I've played recently.
Same thing for 48, Clue from the Sega Genesis.
Sure, this is one that I had quite a bit of fun with. It's not anybody's definition of a great video game, but it was an excellently faithful adaptation of the board game, and a lot of people remember the board game. So I mean, it was worth a mention for sure.
And the fact that Clue's at 48 is a great time to remind people, as we said at the top, these are the games that we've spent the most time playing. Not necessarily are the best games or worst games or anything like that.
Yeah, no. If we were making a list of what we thought was the best games, that would be a completely different list. Some of the games that I know are the best, I haven't even played. So.
Yeah, most of the games you're going to hear us talking about today aren't going to be anywhere near a best games list.
For
the most part, like Clue being one of them.
And vast majority of current day gamers don't even know what that game is. So
most people are going to see a board game on here. It got a console release. Ages ago on the Sega Genesis, as it says right here on the screen. But at 47, we see Nord has Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega Genesis.
Sure, and that one's a classic, and everybody knows that game. I mean, gamers of all stripes, as long as they're old enough, they know that game.
Yeah.
That game was one of the ones that set off the gaming craze. And it had an excellent soundtrack, too. It was very well produced.
That's true.
Especially for the time.
Yeah.
And, of course, it set off a great IP, which is still a great IP, which is Sonic.
Yeah.
So, props to them for that achievement. And that was what started it.
At 46, I have a physical copy of this, Far Cry 2.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who've played the other more recent ones, Far Cry 4 and 5 and so on.
Which I have those as well.
I am not as much of a fan of the series. This was just a game I did play all the way to the finish. And I did do as much as I possibly could have on that game.
And I saw him doing it in the living room at the time.
Yeah, and it was worth a mention because it did take up quite a bit of my time, especially when I was still playing it.
Yeah.
And it was challenging. The game's not easy. None of those games are actually that easy. They made them way more cinematic more recently, so it's kind of just press A to win sort of a thing more recently, but still.
Press A to win.
Yeah, that's what we jokingly call the cinematic games, press A to win. But that game wasn't like that. You really you die a lot. You die quite a lot.
That's kind of like land on win the game square, like on any board game.
Yeah.
But at 45, we got Sonic Adventures.
Adventure 2 Battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the GameCube. That was I consider that to be like the golden age of Sonic games. Since now we've gone into the Sonic movie realm, and movies are now in their golden age with Sonic. But that game represents like the pinnacle of what gaming for Sonic gamers, Sonic game players was, and it was excellently fun and replayable too. Which is weird because it was kind of an arcade game. You'd think an arcade game wouldn't be so replayable, but it was.
Yeah, 44 here. I'm not surprised. I'm quite surprised isn't like higher, like in your top 20. The Portal series.
Yeah, Portal was a game I definitely had to write down, and I kind of other things kind of pushed it down, is why it's down where it is. I did spend a lot of time with it, and frankly, it was definitely an innovative game and definitely unique. Nothing like it had come before that, and so it was, and it took up quite a bit of my time. But I didn't get into the series much after the original game. The original game was what took up most of my time with it, and then after that, like Portal 2, it was a dabble. It wasn't like I didn't get all the way into it. Other things took my attention at that point. So. But I know that one was good too. So, I kind of just left it at the Portal series because I did want to mention that it was more than one game and they were both good. Well, they were, everything that's been Portal has been good pretty much.
Yeah. And at 43, we got Call of the Wild, the angler, a fishing game.
Yeah, there's the base game for that series is called the Wild, the Hunter game, where you're hunting wildlife, and that's a good game too. But the reason I had the angler here on my list here is because I had a lot more success and I had a lot more fun playing the angler version of the game where you're fishing. And it's not because fishing's easier or whatever. No, it's actually quite challenging, honestly. But I just felt like I got more playtime and enjoyment out of the angler game than I did out of the regular hunter one. The hunter one can be quite frustrating, whereas the angler one, not as frustrating. So that's why that's on the list, because I did play that game a lot. In fact, I still have it. So,
obviously.
But yeah, it was definitely worth writing down.
At 42, we got Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 for the GameCube.
Yep, that was one of the. I mean, of all the Star Wars games I've played, that one in my teen years took up quite a bit of time. And I had a lot of fun with it. I played every level. I enjoyed every level of that game. Every part of that game. That game was a masterpiece to me. And it was absolutely backstory stuff I hadn't seen played out anywhere else either. I mean, it was, the Rogue Squadron story is not something that had been made into any kind of media at that point. So it was really intriguing to play. And it definitely deserved to be on the list here. So
yeah. Usually, Nord doesn't play any wrestling games.
Yeah.
These days, but at 41, we got WWE nowadays.
Yeah, no, it isn't WWF anymore, but it was then.
Yeah. Royal Rumble for Sega Genesis.
Yep. And that was another one that I played the hell out of back in the day.
Yeah, and the reason it's not WWF is because WWE got in trouble with the World Wildlife Foundation. They got the smackdown by some pandas.
Yeah.
And they got the F smacked out of them.
But yeah, that game represents the sort of back in the days when wrestling games were just starting to get a little bit more complicated and more less arcade-like and more like open world-like, starting to feel that way a bit.
Well, open world-like, more
being able to walk around a mat and actually do wrestling grappling moves and special moves and finishers and stuff.
More or less what I think you're trying to describe is a wrestling game that's more or less like watching the show.
Sure, yeah, more like the actual program people tuned in for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely. But I also played quite a bit of this, but not enough to make the top 31 for me.
Yep.
Which it probably would be right about here as well, because I regularly only played this with you. So.
Yep.
Same thing goes for this. I dabbled in Portal, but not near enough to even make a top 50 for me,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. But up next is MLB Slugfest, which we both played together, which would be more or less about here if I had a top 50.
Yeah, and the novelty there is that it was a baseball game with violence.
More or less. It was kind of like NFL Blitz, the arcade football
Yeah,
game.
like baseball if it had been actually be a contact sport.
Yeah. 39, the Donkey Kong series.
Sure, which could never be excluded from any game series of our
Which
favorites.
would probably be right about here if I had a list that extended this far out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
30.
just another one of those games that every gamer that's ever been, raised on gaming has definitely played, So,
Yeah. At 38, we got Star Wars Jedi Knight, or it's supposed to be Star Wars Jedi Academy.
sure, yeah, no, I kind of wanted to fit it into one line, so I just said Jedi Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, because there
But,
was a Jedi Knight series. There was a Jedi Knight series.
Yeah.
And Jedi Academy was the one I was referring to.
And that's the final game in the series, too.
Yeah.
Because there was Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which was the precursor to this game.
Yeah.
But I actually have this game in my top 20.
Yep.
So that says to me that I've played the hell out of this more than you then.
Yep.
A game that I don't have anywhere, because I haven't even started playing it, even though I have a physical copy for the PS3, and also have the digital Xbox One version for the Xbox Series X and S. LA Noir.
Yep. This was a game that was not only meme gold, but was also one of the first best storyline cinematic type games.
That had the closest thing to realistic facial animations too.
Yep. Yeah, they
As
really
well.
made leaps and bounds with the face models with that game.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a really intriguing story and an Americana game too. It's all about LA in the 40s, basically.
For those that don't know, I do have a new Twitch channel called Drew Dat Game. If you guys want to see me playing this on that channel, please let me know in the comments or wherever you find me on the internet. If you want to see me playing this on a live stream, just tell me and I will see about doing it. Because it's one of those games that I have 2 copies of, digital and physical. Just let me know, guys. But at 36, we got Star Wars Battlefront 2 from the Xbox 360.
Yep. And I had to specify that one because there's 2 versions, of course. There's the more recent version, which I've never enjoyed as much as the old school version.
Actually, I do need to fact check you here. That was not the 360. That was the PS2 and the original Xbox.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Either way. I was misremembering it, apparently.
Yeah, but it was made by Pandemic Studio, which no longer exists.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I probably should have wrote. I should have wrote Pandemic Studios.
Yeah. Which also later on in my list, this will come up as well.
And that was one of the best open world, like violence, war-based Star Wars games. Where you would just play as a character and go around just killing troops, you know what I mean? And have to engage in strategery and stuff.
And then at 35 is...
Yes, Pokemon Go has to be on my list. And the reason it has to be on my list is because despite it being a cell phone app game, It is the only app game on this list, by the way. The reason it has to be on the list is because of the sheer amount of effort and time I had put into it.
I just thought to put a. I just thought I was here to mention Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, okay. but yeah, no, I mean it's a game that took the world a bit by storm back in 2016 and in June then. And I got into it a couple months later and I pretty much played it all the freaking time between 2016 all the way through to 2023 and 4 pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's been a long game. It's a long journey game. You're meant to play it for a very long time. And it is one of the most it was one of the most thrilling experiences to get to actually go out in the real world and meet other people playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because that doesn't happen with other video games. That's not a thing.
Not
in
really,
the video game world. Yeah, people play online with each other and maybe they'll play together in a room together, whatever. That's been the experience for the longest, but it's never been where you go out into the world and you meet with a crowd and you do something together in a video game. Until then, that had never been done before.
There are get-togethers to meet up with people that you play games together out in the physical
and
world,
of course
but
conferences and conventions and stuff were always a thing, but I just meant the actual playing part of a game was usually done in small to maybe medium groups, and then competitive gaming was a different thing entirely.
And then there's also meetups like with Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic.
You see, the thing is, a lot of the times gaming meetups would be competitive, whereas this was cooperative. Very few games where you met up and cooperated with each other exist, you know. And especially there were definitely no other games where you met up in random places.
Yeah.
Right. If you were going to play any other game with a group of people, you would have had to go to like a place where there's internet and, you know, where there's consoles set up and stuff. Whereas this is just bring your phone, go out to the location and meet people randomly in a park somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was very different.
So that was Pokemon Go, right? Then we were talking about. Okay, so at 34, we got Road Rush 64.
Yeah.
You didn't really need to type in 64 there. Road Rush 64 says it all.
Well, okay, so like there's two games though. The original game was prior to the 64, and it was much more rudimentary and not as good actually as the 64 version.
But that one wasn't called Road Rush 64 though.
It wasn't? I'm pretty sure. Well, no, the other one was called just Road Rash. This one was called 64. But anyway, it was just I count it as one of the worst graphics games that's the most fun to play.
Yeah.
Like it's like Stone. I posted on Twitter about it too. It's a Stone Age quality graphics game, but it is a fun game to play. So, and I played it a lot.
Yeah.
So.
At 33, we have something that's further up on my list, although it's more specific than this.
Yeah.
The Lego game series.
Yeah, the thing is, I couldn't go through all of them because there's just too damn many of them. And I didn't want to fill my list up with Lego series games because that's silly. But I mean, there was Lego Star Wars. Obviously, that's an elephant in the room. And then there's Lego Indiana Jones. That's an elephant in the room.
Which I've also played.
You know, I mean, there was several good games, and then Lego Batman was fun too.
And then Lego Harry Potter as well.
And Lego Harry Potter. See what I mean? There was a lot of games in the series, and this is where you're going to start to see where I just condense things down into a series because there's too many good games in it. So that's what I had to do with that one. But it had to be included because it has taken up quite a bit of my gaming time.
Yeah, but when I talk about Lego, it's going to be just Lego Star Wars because that's the one that I've played the most.
Yeah.
Of any of the Legos.
I would have had to give nods to the other ones, and I felt like, you know what, I'll just make it a series like I'm going to do like I did with a whole bunch of other ones too. So
yeah, so at 32, and the last game before we start bouncing between my number and his, between both of our lists. Yeah. 32 got Mario Golf for the GameCube, which was also known as Toadstool Tour.
Yeah, subtitle was Toadstool Tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the best golf game I ever played.
And one of the last games that we remember consistently our sister playing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, real
Even
world sport with fun characters. Yeah.
I think Dad was still around to play that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, it came out early enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So even our father was playing this game with us.
Yeah.
But now we're going to start bouncing back and forth and comparing the list. At 31, Desert Nord has MLB The Show 24.
Yeah.
You got very specific there.
Yeah, and it's another one where the only reason I got specific with this one is not because there's not other good show games. It's just that that's the one I've played the most of the show games.
Fair enough. Well, let's see if it compares to the game that I have at number 31, which is my first game off my list, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any comparing there.
No, there isn't any comparison. It's a completely different game genre, all of it. There's and it's a game. Titanfall 2 is a game I haven't played, so
yeah. So that's why Titanfall 2 is not going to be anywhere on his, and it is on mine. Yep. Same thing goes. You're going to see some games on my list that are not on his, and vice versa.
Yep.
Like case in point, like the fishing game and Portal. Now, I did play some Portal, but not near enough to put it on like any list like this. At number 30, he has Skate 2. Bro?
Yep. Yeah, and then there are other games in the Skate series, and some people really like, the original game. Some people like 3. I mean, 2 was the one that took up the most time for me and I had the most fun with. So it's the one game in that series that belongs on the list.
Yeah, that would only probably time I be at like 33, 34 for me.
I debated with myself whether to write Skate series, but I decided because I hadn't really played a whole lot of the other ones except for 2, I thought I'll just put 2 and leave it at that.
I would go looking for my copy of Skate that I have from the 360 to figure out which one it is, but it's packed in a box somewhere now.
Yeah, you're packing up there, yeah.
At number 30, I have a completely different type game, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Which is a more recent game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and it's one of them MMO games too.
Yeah. At 29, the entire Battlefield series. So that so does that include the woke Battlefield 5?
Well, doesn't include every game in the series. Some of them are crap, and some of them are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Again, in this case, the reason I included it as series is because multiple games in it would have made my list, and I didn't want to bother with doing that. So I wrote the series.
Like probably Bad Company would have been.
Yes, Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 5, such, so on and so forth. And then now the Battlefield 6 has come out. We can talk about Battlefield 6.
Yeah.
People are enjoying that one currently. It's very good in terms of the visuals and stuff. But there is apparently a lot of cheating going on it, so then there's that too.
At 29, to compare, I have the Red Dead franchise, i.e. Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2.
Yep. Yep, and those are classic and like very, very monumental games in gaming history.
Yeah. At 28, DayZ from Desert Nord.
Yeah, it's a long-standing game. I have certain critiques about it, but it is a game that I have spent quite a lot of time playing. And it isn't perfect. In fact, we often jokingly talk about the game engine being dog shit. And it is. The game engine on that game is dog shit. You can barely do driving at all. Driving is just fucking dangerous. The game lag. The game lag gets you in trouble all the time. I mean, there's definitely a lot of flaws with DayZ.
So DayZ has similar issues to my number 28. The Halo franchise.
Yeah.
The driving of the Warthog is a crapshoot at best.
Only I probably would include that series as one of the best in gaming history.
Yeah, it is, but keep in mind these lists are largely on time spent playing said games.
Yeah.
That's why the entire Halo franchise is at 28. Because if I were to list every Halo game, then I would have a Halo game in the 30s, a Halo game in the 20s, a Halo game in the teens, a Halo game in the top 10, a Halo game in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just lumped them all here and just
Things would get a little bit hairy, just like with my list.
Yeah, exactly. At 27, Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, and again, this is another one where I could have just included the entire Arkham series, but I decided to stick with Asylum because that's the one I'd played more.
Yeah.
So.
At 27 for me is the entire Gears of War franchise.
Yeah.
Another Halo-like situation where I was going to have a Gears game in every, 10...
yeah.
10... Every 10 in my list or so.
Yeah.
So it's just better just to put them here at 27 altogether. Same thing goes for my number 26, which yours is Civilization Revolution, which we spent a lot of time playing together.
Sure, and this is another one where there's plenty of games in the series, but I had to pick the one I spent the most with was by far that one.
Yeah. 26 for me is the entire Far Cry franchise.
Yeah.
Because years later, I went into playing 2, played half of that, dabbled in 3, played all the way through 4 halfway through 4, played all the way through 5, about halfway through New Dawn, and then there's also Far Cry Primal that I played 10 minutes of as well. So if you couple it all together, that's somewhere about a day's worth of playing in total for the entire franchise. 25, you got Pokemon Stadium Series.
Oh, yeah.
And at 25, I have Fable 1 and 2.
Originally, the Stadium Series was one of the most fun you could have in that era with your friends. In the room with each other playing a game. The mini games were absolutely legendary.
Yeah. And this is where you start to get a sense of, from here on out, I think with our 2 lists, folks, you get a sense of Nord and I going different directions with playing games.
Yeah.
From here at this point, for the most part. Because at 24, he's got Spider-Man 2, which I did spend a lot of time playing, but since then, I've spent a lot of time playing other games. Like at 24, I have Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Inquisition.
But not. You were careful to not do the whole series because frankly, there's a certain game recently that deserves to be excluded.
Yes. Plus I never bothered or played it, so that's why it's not here. Because if we were going top worst games of all time, regardless if we've played them or not, that would be on there.
Yeah.
But at 23, Ace Combat 4. Oh, by the way, I do want to add about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I was going to say something about it too.
Followed the movie to a T.
Yeah, and it was a landmark game of gaming history.
Yes, indeed. And then it also wound up getting a PS3 port as well.
Yep.
As well as Spider-Man 3. Which coincidentally, the PS3 logo looked a lot similar to the font of this game.
Yeah.
And the movie. So, but either way, was there anything that you wanted to add about Spider-Man 2 first?
Well, no, just that if we were going to make a best games of all time list, it would be on it.
Yeah, which maybe we will revisit because we did that I did that previously with Chris on the channel.
Yeah.
You and I may do that at some point in the future. We'll see. But at 23, Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies, which is a recent release, is it not?
No. The number 4 Shattered Skies was one that was on PS2 and Xbox.
Oh, okay.
The reason I didn't include the more recent one is because I didn't get that far into it. Now I did play it. I have played it quite a bit actually, but I got to a point where I was struggling and I got frustrated and I kind of just put it down.
Yeah.
But with Shattered Skies, I never had that problem. I played Shattered Skies through to all the way to the end and over again multiple times actually. There were certain missions on that game that I loved, absolutely had a blast with, and it is one of the best. What shall we call it? Aerial combat games that has ever been made.
Yeah, I haven't played it because, as you guys have seen on a meme on Nord's channel, me and flying do not mix.
Yeah.
Me and walking in an open world sometimes does not mix. But at 23, I have the Witcher franchise.
Oh, yeah.
That being The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings, and Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
Which a lot of people would probably rank higher.
Yeah, but it's based on time-logged playing.
Yeah.
At 22, you have Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube.
Sure, and I specified number 2 because, again, this is one that I spent all of my Soul Calibur time playing. I didn't play many of the other games. So
at 22, I have Medal of Honor European Assault.
Yeah. That game had to be probably the most fun first-person shooter game me or you ever played with each other.
And we constantly played the split screen together, like if not every week, then every other day.
Yeah, it was pretty common for us.
Yeah,
it was our go-to if we wanted to two play each other, 1v1 or whatever.
That and Flat Out, which I would be surprised if you didn't have it on here somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. At 21, you have the Mass Effect series, so that's 1 through 3, correct?
Yeah. And again, I would have specified the original, but I felt like number 2 was also. I spent a lot of time on 2 also, so they were at least those 2 were worth including. And then I felt like, you know what, just put the whole series on there.
Yeah, I've played through all 4 games to completion. So,
and it was definitely a landmark series, one of the best in gaming history for sure.
But Andromeda is worth forgetting, though.
Yeah, people didn't like it, and it is definitely the lowest rated game in the series.
But at 21, I have 2 games here of the series. And I didn't specify, probably should have, but I have written here at 21, Battlefront as in Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yep.
I'm going to leave that open-ended for you guys to debate what the hell I mean.
Yeah.
Because I've played enough of both generations of them. So have fun with that, everybody. At 20, you have Medal of Honor European Assault.
Sure, same story there. I just ranked it a little higher than you did.
At 20, I have Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which we previously mentioned. And I see further up the list, I forgot a couple things.
It'll happen.
For me. But they do deserve to be up at about this high on the list. But as it is, at 19, you have the Half-Life series.
Yep.
Which I've played a little of myself.
Which will endlessly frustrate the gaming community because they stopped making them.
And now Valve is getting debanked.
Yeah.
At 19, I have GTA 5.
Yeah. Which a lot of people would rank higher also.
which is also probably my least favorite GTA game, period. Because I've also played
yeah.
some before, and I prefer that, you know?
Yeah.
But GTA 5 does do certain things that 4 does not, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
18, you have the Madden, or the NFL Madden series.
Sure, I lumped all of the Madden games into one pile, and
including Head Coach 09.
sure, and Head Coach 09 was actually probably definitely the game I spent the most with in the entire Madden series. Which is sad because you'd think that wouldn't be the best one, but that was the one I had the most fun with.
Technically, that's not the Madden series, though. Technically, that's its own thing.
Well, fair enough, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. At 18, this might surprise you. For me, bro.
Yeah.
I have Elder Scrolls Online at 18.
Okay.
So it is.
Yeah, I know you haven't played it nearly as much as I have, so
yeah, but
it's understandable.
It is at 18. I imagine that's going to be like in your top 5, probably.
Well, I didn't. It's another one of those ones where I didn't put each one of the titles in a spot on its own. I put the series in a spot and called it a day.
I did that for the most part. The closer to my top 5 we got.
I forget whether I separated the rest of the series from the online. I might have separated the online from the rest of the series, maybe, but I don't.
Well, we'll see.
If I remember correctly, I lumped it together.
17, another game I also spent quite a bit of time with, but not enough to put it on here. As the SSX series, which is a snowboarding game.
Yeah. Yep. Especially 3, and the more modern SSX game, which was just called SSX. That one, I feel like the best one was the more modern one, but the more impactful game in like gaming history would have been number 3, which is still a fun game to this day. And pretty much holds up. Music, the soundtrack was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's got one of the best gaming soundtracks ever put on a game.
Yeah.
But then there's Tricky, which I didn't play as much, but again, not a bad game. People love Tricky.
Yeah.
So the whole series kind of really belongs where I put it. So.
Yeah. At 17, I have Among Us.
Yeah.
For those that have not seen Among Us, what rock are you living under?
Yeah, that's also a landmark game in gaming history. It would be in the top list. It would be in the top 10 of best games ever made.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because of group playability, online accessibility, and just sheer amount of shenanigans and fun that can be had with a group of players.
Yeah, at 16, you have the entire Mario Kart series.
Yeah, had to do that. Had to lump it because there's too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just everybody and their mother has played Mario Kart sooner or later. Everyone has touched it. One of the games.
I've
somewhere.
played it quite a bit with other people online, other streamers, content creators, and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Like Minority Home and Marjade and many others at this point. Same thing goes with Among Us, although mostly with Brew of Hello Brutiful. Shout out to her. At 16, I have a very specific Assassin's Creed game. Black Flag.
Yeah. Which many people consider to be the best game in the entire series.
And you and I are right there with them.
Yeah.
At 15, you have the entire Fallout series. So does that include 1 and 2? Which are PC
Does that say
exclusive?
Fallout or does that say Flat Out?
Oh, sorry. Flat Out, sorry.
Yeah, that's the Flat Out series, not the Fallout series. The Flat Out is the game, where you toss your driver like a dummy from the car, right? It's a Demolition Derby series, and it was always hilariously fun.
The Drunk 3PO brain coming out again.
Yeah, and it belongs where it is because of how much absolute fun I had with it.
Yeah. At 15, I have the Bioshock franchise,
Yep.
which that's all we really need to say. At
Yeah.
14, you have No Man's Sky,
Yep.
also known to some as No Man's Lie.
Yeah,
For obvious reasons at launch.
there were definitely some execution issues with that game, but
Yeah.
it does remain one of the most vast games ever made in terms of amount of playability and how much you can just continue to do in the game.
Yeah. At 14, yeah, that was No Man's Sky for you. For me, Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm. Which was another game that was technically a little bit of a letdown for people, but also very good after the updates.
And it's fitting that No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk are at 14 for you and I, respectively.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of similarities of the
basically
launches of those
both games had vast potential, but fell a little bit short of what they were.
A little bit short. They were hated at launch.
Yeah.
When the companies, in the case of CD Projekt Red, are facing lawsuits potentially.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the launch of Fallout 76 and all the shenanigans there. But it is what it is. At 13, you have the Borderlands series.
Yep. Original game and number 2 being the ones I played the most. And I did play 3, actually, all the way to the end of the storyline and as much as I could, really. But I have to critique 3 because 3... there was a lot of blatantly woke elements, and honestly, if somebody called it a woke game, I wouldn't disagree with them.
At 13, my entry at 13, if we had done this time last year, number 13 would not be anywhere near any list like this.
Yeah.
At number 13, I have the Jackbox Party games.
Yeah, another one that kind of sticks out a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite the same as the others in the list here.
Yeah, but because of recently playing them with family at family gatherings, when you stayed with us for a little bit, yeah, this shot up all the way to number 13 for me. That being
it can be a lot.
Party Pack 3, 4, and 5.
It can be a lot of fun. It's a streamable game. It can be a family game. It's just great.
To quote Paul Lynn, if you come from a broken family.
Yeah, it's a little bit sideways, but still fun.
Yeah, but you can clean it up. At 12, Red Dead Redemption series. Yours is way up here.
Yeah, it couldn't be denied. I had played it quite a lot, and I mean, it's a combination of how much I played.
Yeah.
Both Redemption and 2.
Yeah.
And just how great they actually are overall in the gaming, in gaming history.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, how number 2 is basically a visual masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful games ever produced.
And some of the functionalities of things like having to wash and clean your gun can be slightly annoying at times, but it can also be slightly funny.
Well, and it's more realistic, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are real problems you'd really have.
Like walking down the street and people avoiding you because you haven't bathed.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny for streaming purposes.
Yeah.
But at 12 for me, I have the Lego Star Wars series. Specifically.
Yep. And the multiple games they made in that were pretty much, I mean, for the most part,
obviously excluding the most recent Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, because we
have not touched that shit.
The sequels ruined themselves for us, and
Anyway,
the games weren't any better than the movies, and the movies were highly avoidable.
Yeah. At 11, you have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Underground series together.
Yep, had to lump them because again, too many titles.
And I have a little lumping here as well. At 11 for me, Mass Effect, specifically 1 through 3.
Yeah, and I think from my teenage years, I think that particular series for me completely encompasses the majority of my time gaming.
Yeah, so we're about to get into the top 10. So I think it's safe to say these 10 games are the ones that own our gaming soul, right?
Yeah, no, we're definitely loyal to the top 10 here.
So at 10, Pokemon Color Series for the GameCube.
Game Boy Colors, whatever. Yeah.
Pokemon Color Series for the Game Boy Color. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At 10 for me, I have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yep, and I think the Color series represents the height of handheld gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, considering Pokemon is like the number one IP in the history of IPs, in terms of revenue, the Color series was the one that set the world on fire, especially Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely it's been a long string, but it's one of the most impactful game series ever made.
Mm-hmm.
We played the hell out of as many games as we can get our hands on with that series.
Yeah. We both did 10. Number 9, Fable series for you,
Mm-hmm.
including Fable 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fable 3 actually was the one I probably ended up spending the most time playing.
And it was also the worst one.
Yeah, no, and you're right. If you compare all three, you'd say, okay, well, 3 had some issues, whereas 2 didn't
Yeah.
have any issues, really.
And Fable 1
And
was.
Fable 1, the only issue it had really was, like, was rudimentary, and wasn't the game series hadn't really developed into what it became.
But
with number 1.
But there are some that say that the first game is the best too.
Yeah, no, their argument is fine. I mean, again,
Yeah, and I'm with them on this one, on that one.
yeah, I like 2 the most,
Mm-hmm.
but I played 3 the most, so it's weird.
Yeah. 9 for me. I have 2 games here. One may surprise you, one may not. I'm not sure. And 9, I have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Yep.
And Super Smash Brothers.
Okay.
The entire Super Smash Brothers series, specifically because I've spent more time probably playing the N64 version, which I see is next on your list. But it's getting very close with the one from the Switch.
Yeah.
To that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate's a good game. It is a good game, but I don't think it will ever have the amount of gaming world impact as the 64 version did.
Yeah.
And frankly, the 64 version could be put in a top 10 list of best games ever made.
And the same thing goes for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 as well, with its plot twist of you being Revan the whole time.
Yeah.
And
well,
then
not just that, but the way they went about developing that game with the sort of compelling storyline, great characters, good character designs, very encapsulating of the Star Wars. It was still with the spirit of Star Wars, even though it was something you had never experienced before. If you had like watched the movies or whatever, it was still a very faithful title, and ended up being a faithful series to the original Star Wars writings and lore. So
exactly,
not every Star Wars game is like that. You know, so.
And the same thing kind of went with his sequel, too.
So with KOTOR, you're talking about basically the best Star Wars games ever made.
Yeah.
Essentially.
At 8, Super Smash Bros. For 64, which we just talked about. At 8 for me is the entire franchise of MLB The Show. From beginning to end.
Yeah.
Which there is no end.
They've gotten very, very good with the show. It's about as good as you could ever make a baseball game.
To the point where it's starting to get stagnant.
Yeah, no, it's kind of hit the wall, and it's like, okay, it's perfect. What else do we do with this?
Yeah. At 7, you have the Call of Duty series.
Yeah, which again would be ranked in the top 10 of greatest series of all time in gaming.
Yeah.
And again, I had to lump them because there's just too damn many titles. But shout out to Modern Warfare 2, which
Mhm.
many would rate the best of all.
Yeah.
But Ghosts was good, and Black Ops obviously is also right up there, and the Black Ops series in general, you know. So I mean, again, people can argue whatever, but I think that the shout out I would give to the best in that series is to Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Now, what do you have at 7 on yours?
I have college football and Madden together.
Oh, okay.
Because usually you can port your college player over to Madden. Same thing goes with college football being back again to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just wind up, in my case, playing college football, then get Madden, and then carrying over playing whatever you were doing in college football into the superstar mode, as it's now being
Yeah,
called.
see, so that's the series that I had at number 18, basically. Everything, I basically put everything football at 18 on my list.
Yeah.
So that would include NCAA games too.
Yeah. At number 6, you have the Need for Speed series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too many titles in it to mention. The Underground series, Underground 2 was fantastic. It's one of the best. It was a landmark game for sure. And then Most Wanted was also a landmark game. Carbon was good. Pro Street was pretty good. I mean, there's a long list of games in that series that were good, and Drift was good. I mean, yeah, just a lot of good games, and it's high as it is on my list because of how much freaking time I spent playing it. Of course, the first title I touched was Hot Pursuit 2. Very, very long time ago, of course, and that game was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So it definitely deserved to be where it is on the list. And some people would put it that high, some people wouldn't. But for me, it definitely has to be because of the sheer amount of time I spent. That game ate up a lot of my teen years. Those games, I mean.
At number 6 for me, you had Spider-Man 2 way down at 24.
Mm-hmm.
At 6, I have Marvel Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Which is in a similar spirit to that Spider-Man game when that first came out.
Yeah, a more modern version.
Yeah.
A more modern update or whatever.
But then they decided to ruin that with Spider-Man 2 for the PS5 with all the woke shit in it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, big controversy and all that.
And then you had one content creator whom I respect the opinion of, even if I completely disagree, saying that it's not woke. Bullshit, dude. And
yeah, well, that if it isn't, then there is literally no definition of it if it isn't.
And I'm not saying his name because he does work with a group of people online on a major channel that I'm very fond of to this day. So that's why I'm not saying his name right now.
Anywho.
But yeah. At number 5, you have the entire Assassin's Creed series.
Another case where I've played so many of them that I can't really just put one or two. There's like 6 good games in the series that I played. And there's like, I don't even know how many total. There's probably almost 20 games total in the series.
Yeah. Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. It's got to be near that at this point.
And I still have to play Mirage.
I would shout out the original game though as the best because of the spirit of the game, the absolutely ahead of its time graphics. It's still a landmark game. It was a landmark game. It's
at the time, yeah.
It would be that particular game if we were doing individual games. that particular game would be ranked high in the top, near the top
But-
10 of games ever made.
But just
Best
think,
games ever made.
if Ubisoft had followed through on what turned into the Assassin's Creed series with the first game, followed through on that being a Prince of Persia game, there wouldn't be an Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yeah, it's serendipitous, as they say.
Yeah, because what turned into the first Assassin's Creed game was apparently supposed to be a Prince of Persia game
Yep. Mm-hmm.
instead. But
Yeah,
that fell
yeah.
through, and then they went this direction.
Yep.
But at 5 for me, I have 2 franchises. WWE 2K series, bro,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and the Mario Kart franchise.
Yeah. Lots of time.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of time put in for that, I imagine, on yours.
As I said, yeah, playing it with a bunch of different other content creators while they were streaming it on their channels.
Yeah, that type of experience always makes your experience with a game better.
Yeah.
So
At 4, you have the Gears of War franchise.
sure, and that's a combination of amount of time put in and amount of fun with other players, and
Yeah.
the fact that was a game where you could actually play against the AI in the game and really have yourself a time.
And
That
now
was one of those. When I say that game, I mean that series. The AI in that series were actually, if you set them right, were actually a bit of a challenge.
Now, I'm willing to say that now we're in the area of games that we've put so much time in that we're just going to keep playing
Yeah.
further with these games.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that these ones are just forever cemented way the hell up here.
Oh yeah.
At 4, I have Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely New Vegas is considered one of the greatest games ever made.
And speaking of the Fallout series, you have it all at number 3.
Yes, I do.
At number,
Yep, I do, and it has eaten up hundreds upon hundreds of hours of my life.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
weeks
number
and weeks and weeks of my life into those games.
At number 3, I have The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, the original on the 360 and the modern remake.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
At 2, you have the entire Elder Scrolls series, which I assume includes ESO and
Yeah, no,
Sky.
I
and
told you,
Oblivion.
I ended up having to lump it all together. And so the sum total, absolutely. I mean, if you combine all my Elder Scrolls playtime, it's thousands of hours.
Yeah.
Probably approaching 3,000 to 4,000 hours of playtime across the series,
Yeah.
including the remaster, which I completed all the achievements for and the storyline of.
Yeah.
So,
And in my case, number 2 is Fallout 4 because of mods.
yeah. Yeah, with Fallout 4 mods, it was a fun experience.
And also the fact that I have it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Series X and S.
Yeah, and I just want to say, shout out to Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It is the best game in the series of Elder Scrolls.
Don't worry, I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
At number 1, and your number 1 shocks the hell out of me that you've played anything more than Skyrim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Minecraft.
Yep.
That didn't even make my list at all.
Mm-hmm.
If I put together a top 50, that wouldn't be on here.
Yep. Yeah, the reason I had to put it at number 1 is because, well, first of all, sheer amount of playtime. I have spent the equivalent of 2 months of my life playing. I mean, 2 months solid of my life playing that game.
So considering how much Nova Rockefeller, Tom McDonald's girlfriend, spends playing Minecraft, you're the Nova Rockefeller of our relationship here then.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a combination of the fact that the game, they made the maps endless. It replicates after about 60,000 blocks, but it is an endless map. And just the amount of materials, the amount of, you know, replayability and playability, not just replayability, but playability, the diverse experience, the getting all of the 131 achievements on the current game, you know, the amount of effort and in-depth understanding it requires to really get far into the game, the combat system, the just the amount of diverse parts. This Minecraft puts together. Yes, the graphics are 8-bit, of course. That's the nostalgia. That's the novelty with Minecraft. But the amount of elements that make a game good that Minecraft has are, in my experience, more than almost any other individual game.
Yeah.
And that's because of how you can enjoy it. You can have an intense experience with it, which is
Mhm.
really like a sweaty experience, or you can have a really relaxed experience with it. And it all varies on what you do with your world. And so I mean, it's just I can't I would take an hour and a half to explain just how much diverse gameplay experience there is to be had in Minecraft. And it truly is a fun game, especially if you're the kind of person who's into like building things. It's all about creativity. So,
Yeah.
and it's one of those games that just absolutely unleashes your creativity. So and with the amount of time I spent playing it combined with all of that, I had to put it where I put it. So, and a lot of people wouldn't put it on their list at all. Like I said, like you said, a lot of people wouldn't have it there at all. But for me, I had to. I just simply had to.
And like I said, our two lists are based on time spent playing said games.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're the best games of all time. Doesn't mean that they're even good. It
Yeah, no,
just means that for
I
whatever
just the
reason we
recent.
enjoy playing them.
I mean, I spent over 3,000 hours on just the recent edition of Minecraft. So.
Well, it's not my concern.
Yes, nothing concerns Mike Pence.
But what does concern me is my number one game, the game that I have literally lost weeks of my life to in playing.
Yeah.
Be it modding it off of Steam, modding it off of Xbox, playing it on a PS4, on a Nintendo Switch, on a 360, on a PS3. Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Played it on every platform that I could possibly play it in. That's not going to make me go and say,
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
because when you port a game to a smart fridge, to an Alexa, or whatever the fuck that speaker thing is called.
Yeah, they went a little overboard for sure.
And then people have to make the joke of, now it's going to be ported to my toaster and my Christmas tree.
Uh-huh.
And then next it will be our what was
Yeah, and I mean, they did everything short of putting it in gas station frickin' pump screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once upon a time, Bethesda decided we're just going to port it everywhere.
Uh-huh. The one thing I can say, though, about it overall, though, is that if you asked 100 people what the greatest or most impactful video game that like took the world by storm that has ever been produced, that probably would hit the number one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because of just how many what we might call normies got swept up into it. And how many people were made gamers from not being gamers previously.
And then
because of that game's release.
And then I had girls that were working or females that were working at Target with us when some of us were talking about what level's your character at in Skyrim, and then some of the girls were like, "Well, mine's at level 6." They're like, "You play Skyrim?" And she's like, "What's Skyrim?"
Yeah.
She just wanted to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, well, that's lovely, but no, I mean, it did
other
create
words-
millions of new gamers.
In other words, it prompted non-gamer chicks to lie about playing video games.
Yeah, no, it
As well.
again, that was a game that completely invaded pop culture and invaded the space of people who weren't gamers.
Kind of like Star Wars for games in a way.
Yeah,
You know?
There's sometimes that happens, and it's called a cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah,
And Skyrim definitely reached the level of a cultural zeitgeist.
yeah.
You know, it haunted the dreams of some of us. You know what I mean? Some of us played so many different versions of it so many times for so many hours. There are people who have literally put whole years of their life into it. So it definitely is one of those games that, you know, aside from the entire series, which of course is a monumental gaming achievement if you take it all together, but that particular game that game landed like an asteroid upon the Earth. So it definitely deserves that level of notoriety.
Yeah. So that's our list at this point. Let us know what you guys think down below. What you guys are currently seeing on screen right now was my first stream yesterday of playing Mafia: The Old Country on the new Twitch channel, Drew That Game. If you have not, please go follow that channel. Nord was the first one to do so.
Yeah.
I would greatly appreciate it. You can also find this stream on this very channel already. A little bit of public service announcement warning. For whatever reason, my mic was muted the whole stream. So you're not going to hear me say a damn thing or announce this stream in that one yesterday.
Yeah.
However,
We always have audio trouble. It's that Gary B. Boomerism, right?
Well, I didn't know that the mic on the headset was turned off the whole time on the Switch.
Yeah.
I have since remedied that, so it shouldn't be an issue unless it switches off again. I'll have to check it next time too. But I will attempt to get back to playing this game, Mafia: The Old Country, again after Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, but I'm going to have a bunch of time between Tuesday after work and when I move, because I'm not going to be working for a little while.
Yep.
So I'm going to have more time to do some more game streams and this, that, and the other thing during the week. So if not Wednesday after my reaction on the other channel, Drew Dat Underground, to a music video a guy sent to me that I currently work with for now, called F This Job. I'll be reacting to that the day after I quit my job. And then after that, I will get into a bunch of game streams, either on this Twitch channel here, Drew That Game, or right here on this very channel, the one you're watching right now. Otherwise, if and when I do a game stream over here over there on Twitch, I will bring that over here to this channel, so that when that stream disappears off Twitch in 7 days, you guys can come over here and watch it whenever you want. And also try to get some stuff ported to Rumble, which I've been meaning to doing for the last few months, which I'll have more time to do coming up here. Anything you want to add to any of that?
Oh, no. No, I mean, you got a lot going on. And,
well,
interesting.
Between moving, leaving my job, and then a lot of stuff I want to catch up with currently.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like Extra Girl's live on Twitch, so go watch her stream. She's playing Star Trek Bridge Commander, it looks like.
Yep.
So if you're into Star Trek Bridge Commander, or if you're just into lovely Asian lady, X-Ray Girl is the girl for you.
Gary always X-Ray Girl.
Yeah, X-Ray Girl. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, go follow X-Ray, go follow this channel, subscribe to Desert Nord on YouTube.
Yep.
If you if you got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm on X too, but
well, you can't subscribe to X, can you?
No, you could follow people though.
Well, yeah, that's true. Otherwise, that's all we got. Thank you guys for watching. Be safe, be well. Follow us everywhere that we've said. Subscribe. And we will see you guys next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Hopefully on Wednesday for the F This Job reaction video.
Yep.
See you guys later.
I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend.